morning. I hope you guys are doing good. I couldn't go live in the morning cause I was sleeping actually. I was resting. But we need to talk about gold right now, ne? We need to look at gold and specifically just check what's going on with regards to that. And remember what I said yesterday before the network cut us off, right? I did mention that if the day closes what? What's going on? I did mention yesterday before the live ended to say that by any means, okay, I did mention in the morning to say that by any means, if price closes below this high, right? If price closed below this high before like market closes, right? If price closed below this high, uh, right? I mentioned that price will definitely do what? Price will definitely push above, because I did mention that this is a weak high. So whatever that happens, if ever we may be looking at gold drops, it needs to come and clean out this high first. If you were here on the live yesterday, before network did us wrong, I did mention that if ever price closed below, and then you can see that price did close below when market closed at 23 hours, you can see price was sitting around here. And then what happened? The day opened, and what happened? Gold did go up. Why? Because I said as long as if price closes below this area when market closed, we are definitely going to go above this price, because this was a weak high. What happened? Price did just that. Did that when market opened, it did exactly that. As I mentioned, it went above and broke above that, because this is definitely a weak high. So whenever gold leaves weak highs, just know that price will always do what? Will always go back for those highs and clean them out. You understand? How are you? Are you good? So you see that this is definitely a weak high. That's why you see gold did what? That's why you see gold did come, or rather it came and actually broke above that area. You understand? So I'm rushing for work, but here, that's prop. I couldn't go live in the morning at all. I was still resting. But now, moving on, now we need to go and check smaller time frames, right? We need to go check the smaller time frames as to because under high time frame, which is 15 minutes, because that's my first time frame that I look into, as to like, is it holding under 15 minutes? Definitely this high under 15 minutes is not it doesn't look like it's a rejection high. It's not looking like it's a rejection high. So we just need to go and look at 3 minutes, but let me also look at 30 minutes. Okay, also 30 minutes is not a rejection high. It's not a rejective high. So it means I need to check what is 3 minutes saying. If 3 minutes is approving, unfortunately also 3 minutes doesn't approve, which is a black. 3 minutes also doesn't approve to this as a rejective high. Okay, this is not a rejective high. That's not a problem. This is not a rejective high as well. This is not a rejective high. Neither is it going to hold long-term sales. So it's not gonna hold long-term sales. Whatever that's happening right here might be a sort of a retracement, or might be a sort of like price just coming back to respect certain areas. So it means right now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna do something on gold. I'm just gonna do this right now. I'm gonna do this, and I'm just gonna put the phone like this. I'm being selfish with information, unfortunately. I'm just gonna check the daily bias, and then I'm gonna see what's going on gold before we can just be looking at something right now, right? Let me just check the daily bias quickly, and then we can get on it. Let me check the daily bias first. Let me check the daily bias, and then we can definitely get on to gold. daily bias of gold. Let me just check the daily bias, and then once I'm done checking the daily bias, we can get on it. Because yesterday the daily bias was bullish. You saw that it went bullish. So today I just want the daily bias as well. Okay. Right. Okay, this one, the daily bias is bearish instead. Okay, this one today the daily bias is bearish. Unfortunately, the daily bias on gold today is bearish, so by any means we need to be looking at selling opportunities. So okay, that's something else. Okay, currently I'm personally on Euro USD. I just took some buys, and you can see right there I'm running at some profits. Unfortunately, I'm not I didn't like disclose this part. I'm just gonna leave it running, and I just want to see how far it can go on Euro USD. But I also just want to check gold at this point. I just want gold at this point. Can you check AUDUSD for me? We will go to AUDUSD. I want to look at gold. Let's go back to gold, because we are full-time gold activists, so we just need to look at what's really going on gold at this point. I need to just check what's going on gold. Okay. All right. The only time frame that holds price as a, how do I put this, the only time frame that holds gold as a rejective high, the only time frame that holds it as a rejective high, it's definitely the 1 hour time frame, because under 1 hour we do definitely have some confirmations that we may be looking at a rejection. And then what we're gonna do is pretty simple. From here we're just gonna utilize, let's start with 30 minutes because that's from an hour. Let's take it to 30 minutes. It means that we have to use Fibonacci from here, from our recent lows, right? We take it from our lows, our major key low, we take it to our major key high, because this, take it to major key high, put a Fibonacci, because of this high under 1 hour. Definitely under 1 hour this is respecting, because obviously under 1 hour it did break above. Also it broke above this week high, but then under 1 hour, that's where we actually saw what's this thing, under 1 hour, that's where we saw what do you call it, we saw a confirmation. According to how I trade, there's a confirmation under 1 hour that shows that we may be looking at some rejections. But now let's take a look at what would be the exit area if we consider 1 hour. The rejection area would be this part, would be here on gold. You see, that would be the last TP, or rather, besides the extensions. You know that on Fibonacci we look at the extensions, right? Fibonacci we look at extension, and you can see that the extension part on what's this, on gold would be the 61.8 level, right? Let me remove this. Part of Fibonacci, right? So you can see, okay, that's good. You can see that on Fibonacci we have two outstanding. Can we enter? No, we're still analyzing, and then we just want to check some areas of entries or anything like that, just to continue price. So I want you to look at each and every key level that is marked out, right? I want you to look at each and every key level that was marked out. I'm gonna take you through all of the setups on gold right now, so that you can see what is definitely going on, right? Mind you, the daily bias is bearish. We're not saying it's gonna reach the target today, but according to structure, it's definitely showing that we may be looking at a drop, right? So I want you to look at the following setup, ne? Where is it? Okay, this part. If you still remember from the previous live, I did mention that you can go and watch the stream, right? If you have the time, you go and watch the stream from the previous 2 days. You're gonna see what I did analyze on gold, what are the prices that we were actually looking at, right? I did mention that if there was any chance, I still remember when price was still around these areas, I did mention that if ever we may be looking at continuation to the upside, this could be an area where you can actually look for buying opportunities. This could be a price where you can look for buying opportunities, this price. And then price never really came back to this area, but then because why, we had this area as a weak high, so price needed to respect that, obviously, and then it started pushing even higher. But now look at the very same high, or not high, but the very same low, right? Let me do this. The very same low, I just want to extend that price. The very same low, it is not far, or it's not further away from what? It's not further away from the Fibonacci retracement if this one holds. So if we go back to 15 minutes again, not even 15 minutes, 30 minutes, right? Because we want to use a 30 minutes time frame at this point. So look at this part. We are looking for what? We are currently looking for a rejection, maybe a possible retracement at around this area or around that area. So basically we will be looking for a retracement within this part, between the areas of 61.8 and 78. So this is where we will be looking for what? This would be a zone where we'll be looking for a retracement. And then on that retracement, we are not saying if those confirmations, or rather those conditions, are not met, then you don't sell. You wait until there's confirmation. As much as each and every time when we buy or sell, we don't just say buy. We buy because there are certain confirmations that say buy. You understand? So it means that this will be the price where we'll be looking at rejections, possible confirmation of that will give us rejections to the downside. And then if the Fibonacci retracement holds here, right, if price holds as a rejection from here, then we can consider this price, that's negative 61.8, as the target, because each and every area has its own targets. You understand? So this will be our target area if price, this will be our target area if price does what? If price does hold as a rejection from this point. What your advantage is from here is that obviously I said this is a confirmation from an hour time frame, right? Under 1 hour time frame, we do have a confirmation, right, that yes, price is definitely selling under 1 hour, right? But now look at the only problem that what we have right now under 1 hour is this part. Under 1 hour time frame, you won't see the rejection holding properly. It might give you marking a week. It might just tap and then sell under 1 hour time frame, because it's a higher time frame. You won't have the chance to see it properly. But then it means you have to utilize 30 minutes time frame, you have to utilize 15 minutes time frame, you have to utilize the last time frame being 3 minutes. Those are your time frames that you would be utilizing. So you can also see under 3 minutes there isn't like so much clear like it doesn't look clear as to will it actually even reject within this time frame. But I'm telling you, once price reaches these areas and then it starts rejecting, you're gonna see it as a sell that might look to most people, it might look like it's just dropping out of nowhere, but then just know that it will be respecting Fibonacci, because under 3 minutes, I'm telling you, for ways like, since we have different ways of trading, someone might be looking for a resistance or anything like that as to like, can I sell because of this and that? I'm telling you that once it starts selling, there will only just be one confirmation that would give us that rejection. Whatever rejection that may come, you might look at it as a sort of like a retracement to push above again, but whereas it's not. Rather, just look at it in a different manner. We are looking at a retracement to sell. Understand? Confirmations will come when price reacts here as a rejection. So there will be some certain confirmation. I'm relying on Fibonacci, to be honest. Yes, that Fibonacci. Listen, the only problem comes here. Fibonacci doesn't say, or rather, not even just right. The use of Fibonacci doesn't only just ends on this part of you just marking it and saying that it will respect the Fibonacci. It only respects Fibonacci if there are confirmations. You understand? That's why every time when I use Fibonacci, I don't say that Fibonacci is saying that this is a retracement. The price only reacts, right? We are only taking advantage of the reaction of the market. We think currently the reason why we are using this retracement is to look for actually a retracement area around this area. But to say that it is a retracement, there has to be conditions that are met, and then if those conditions are not met, that's when you see that most of the times you have Fibonacci area, and then just because you don't have a criteria of entering in the markets, price does what? Price disrespects your retracement areas, and then it pushes outside your Fibonacci, because you were not looking for what? You were not looking for what's this thing? You were not looking for confirmations to say, or rather to hold that Fibonacci areas. There are certain confirmations you need to look at. They say it's FVG breaker. Nah, man. However they say them, that's how they say them. Me, I don't use those things. I don't understand them. Unfortunately, mate, let them do as they say. What matters is that we all kill, right? Because most people put names to how we trade, and then you later on look for something that I'm not doing, and then the next thing you are lost in the sauce. Understand? You will be lost in the sauce. So right now we'll just leave gold at those areas. You will be waiting for possibly, let's just say, you'll be looking for selling opportunities right around those areas. You don't sell when price reaches there. You sell when there's confirmations. There will be confirmations. Unfortunately, the selling opportunity will be shared in the premium group. I'm not gonna share that sell in the Telegram channel, but that's something that you should be looking for yourself as well. And then if those confirmations don't come from myself, then it means that we will not be looking for that part, because obviously we're looking at a confirmation that the daily bias is bearish. So we want to also take advantage of that to say, obviously price has done the first confirmation by breaking those weak highs. That weak high, it broke above that weak high. So this can only hold as a rejection high only if under this smaller time frame it gives us a retracement. So if it gives us a retracement, we can most definitely be looking at a serious drop back to these areas. So your target would not only be the 61.8 level, which is 2612.10. so your target would be this area, this one, not exactly this one, because this would be your target, right? This one, but then you'd have to guess what? Yeah, there's a problem. Let me do this. They must come to YouTube. I'm streaming. They suspended my TikTok again. No, I think we are having a problem with regards to TikTok now. TikTok keeps on banning my accounts. Fuck man, fuck TikTok. Fuck it. That's a boost platform. Nah, fuck TikTok. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, it's a black sim. fuck TikTok. I don't care anymore. It's a Murscon platform. It always kicks me out for no reason. It says I have violated things. Since when? GOG. TikTok is off. Yeah, they banned me on TikTok. Can you imagine? They banned me on TikTok. Can you just imagine? They banned me on TikTok. Keep driving traffic to YouTube. Yeah, I think we just have to continue streaming here on TikTok, on YouTube. I'll just continue streaming here on YouTube each and every day. That's why every time when I stream on TikTok, I also stream here on YouTube, because what's the point of using a platform that doesn't allow us freedom of speech? That's fucked up. That's crazy. But at least YouTube, you guys can see the screen properly. I'd have to utilize my hands, both of them. But that's a Murscon platform, TikTok. I don't care anymore. But yeah, currently we will be still continuously looking at this price. We'll continuously still be looking at this gold push. So that's pretty much simple. Look for continuation to the upside, and then we may be looking for some serious drops at those areas. And let me see what's going on right now. Oh, and I did mention one thing again from the previous streams, right? I mentioned this part on the previous streams to say that with regards to whatever that's happening currently on gold, yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. Because I also have this part. on this setup, right? If you look at the previous streams, I have this setup here on Euro USD. So right, currently on Euro USD, I'm just looking at where's that? No, it's not this one. It's Euro USD 1. Euro USD 1. So currently also here on this part, I'm looking at streaming this part. Like I'm just looking at this area on Euro USD, completing this whole setup from the previous stream. If you still remember the previous stream, I just want this whole setup to be completed. And then I mentioned that your second entries that you can be looking forward for is when price breaks above this area, because the first areas that you could have actually focused on was 1, 2, and then now this is your third area that you're gonna be looking at. So I'm also just having something in mind here, having something in mind, because today I experienced a loss just a few days ago. Because I'm personally just trying to pass this challenge. Yesterday I took a massive loss on this part, so I'm trying to pass this challenge. So let me try and just put stop loss and just let it let me do this. It might kick it out. Let me just see this. It might start falling. Let me see. 30. Let's just take a look at it. I will just like set stop loss and just let it ride, and then we can focus on other things. I'm just thinking about if I set stop loss at those prices, then it starts rejecting heavy, and then it's gonna be a mess. See, there's network. I'm telling you, if it was TikTok, if it was TikTok, I wouldn't have survived. I'm telling you, if it was TikTok, I wouldn't have survived at all. If it were TikTok, I wouldn't have survived. Let's take a look at this. Okay, just wait a bit. Just wait a moment. Let me do this part and see. Let me just look at it first and decide. Must look and decide if whether I'm closing or setting stop loss. Let me see. Let me just. Ish. Okay, I think it's trying to reverse or it's trying to do some things. Let me just take my profits there and just leave it as it is. I'll just look at continuation when price reaches those areas. When price reaches those areas, I'll just look for a continuation. Right now, at least I'm almost back at the initial price, because I took some losses yesterday, because I guess without being, I guess, greediness. That's one of the things that I always mention. Being greedy can lead to unnecessary losses. But yeah, besides that, on gold, I'll just maybe take advantage of gold setup, because that's what I'm looking at right now. I just want a setup on gold, and then so that I can trade gold that sells, And one thing for sure, do not be tempted to be taking those buys towards the entry level. Do not be tempted to do that. Just look for selling opportunities when it gets around those areas. And someone said they wanted me to analyze AUDUSD, so let's just jump to AUDUSD and try to do a setup right there. But I do know for sure AUDUSD will also be taking the same structure, almost not the same, but will take the same momentum as Euro USD. Understand? So that's something that we should be looking at this point. That's something we should be looking at this point on AUDUSD. Let's just quickly do it right now. Let's just quickly do it. Let us just quickly do it. Sometimes I feel disappointed. I don't want to lie.